Alright, so welcome to part 4 of the How to Quit Porn series. And in this one, I don't have notes, so let's see how this is gonna go. I want to talk in this video about the pleasure side of porn and about how, in my case, my biggest issue with the book Easy Peasy Method to Quit Porn was when the book made the claim that there is no genuine pleasure in watching pornography. Now, I link that book in the description of these videos because I think it's a valuable book. I think it has a lot of good things to it. I think you should definitely read it and you should go through it and you should think about what is said in the book, because that book is about, it really is based on the book about how to quit smoking. And I think it's actually the original one is probably, let me check, Easy Way to Stop. Yeah, Easy Way to Stop Smoking. So it is the same book essentially, but just the nicotine and cigarette word has been replaced with the word PMO, so porn, masturbation, orgasm. And anyway, that just got me thinking a lot when I had read it and I failed. I relapsed after reading the book, and then I thought about how good it feels to be watching the porn, and why I want to talk about it like this and make a separate video and a separate part, a separate step, is I think it is essential and crucial that we do not lie to ourselves. If we really want to understand ourselves, then we should also learn about the, ugly or natural, I guess you could say it's the natural part in this case, because it's natural that you see gorgeous, beautiful, sexy women on your screen. Of course that's gonna feel good. You're touching yourself. Of course that's gonna feel good. And I think it's important to understand that those are natural things, but that pleasure and that natural arousal has been hijacked by the porn, and it's on overdrive. So that's why I just want to keep mentioning it, that it's okay to enjoy porn in the sense that it's normal. Let's just put it that way. It is very much normal. When I use myself as example, there were times where I ended up watching porn, not because I was feeling particularly bad, but because there was a chance. I was on my computer during or after work. Yes, you heard that right, during work. When I was at my worst with the addiction, there were times at work where I actually consumed pornography. That's how bad it was. And it's because I was sitting on the computer and I sort of had to be on the computer, right? And it didn't need to be a stressful situation, or there didn't need to be anxiety. It was just that my brain remember how fucking good it feels. And so when I opened a porn site or Reddit was really common for me. Whatever it was that I ended up watching, I felt overwhelming, like what else do you call it than pleasure? Especially when you start touching yourself. But even before, when I would pull up some pornography on my screen, I would just get flooded. My brain would get flooded with pleasurable sensations. Like it just felt really mind-blowing at times. And I want to explain in detail how good it felt, because I want that if someone is watching this and they have experienced the same or are experiencing the same, I want to tell you that that is my experience as well, that it felt just absolutely stunningly mind-blowing. It can be really just mesmerizing and hypnotic. Like it can be so mind-numbingly good when you're really in the addiction, like you're really deep in the addiction. It can be just so absolutely, utterly such a good feeling to just see the porn on your screen. And you go onto, let's say, Reddit, and you think in your head like, oh wow, there's gonna be something new in the feed again. Someone has posted something new that wasn't there yesterday or the last week. And that is the dopamine, because you're looking forward to something, and that's really powerful. And that's the whole thing about porn. It's like you seek, you seek something new all the time, and you anticipate the orgasm as you're edging and looking for porn, and it's all the time, it's waiting and anticipating and searching. It's all the time the dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. And that's really insanely addictive, and it feels insanely good. And so back to the point of like, what can you do? Let's move on to that at this point. What can you do? Okay, so first of all, if you've done your homework from the part 1 and 2 and 3, then in that case, you should have the anchor. So you should have something that if you can't prevent yourself, then at least there will be something soon, let's say in the next 2 hours or something, that you're gonna do. You're gonna eat, or you're gonna go run, or you're gonna go lift weights, or whatever it may be. There's something that's gonna get you out. So that's a good thing to have, to sort of, it's like this safety mechanism that you have. And that's why I think it's just crucial to have the anchor, so to speak. But anyway, if you understand at this point what you're going through, let me give you an example. I'm about to watch porn, and I feel like my head, my brain is tingling. Like the anticipation, the idea of looking for new porn is like, it's making my brain feel like actually starting to almost itch. Like I have the itch that I just have to scratch that itch, you know? It's like I have to do it. Like it's the same as in when you feel like your head is, you know, itching a bit and you want to do this, you want to scratch it. That's what I feel like when I'm about to watch porn. So what can you do there? In that case, you will need the identity. This is where identity really comes into play, and this is where powerful words about yourself come to play. But this is also where, you know, my experiment last summer when I was doing the NoFap and doing YouTube, I posted every day for about a month. And I had, you know, I was successful for, I think, about 3 weeks or so. And many times during that experiment and experience, I almost relapsed into watching, but I thought to myself, I am not that fucking addict. I'm this person who's making YouTube, and actually I am gonna make a video. And then I would actually get into making the video. I would start to talk about it. And this is really important. And this is something that is so utterly dangerous about the gooning phenomena, the porn addiction encouragement phenomena, which I'll make a whole video about because it's such an important topic. But it's really fucking dark because, you know, there's millions of people doing that these days, or at least that's when you look at the Reddit subreddits. There's, you know, when I was looking into it last summer, there was like over 1 million people in the subreddit for that stuff. So that's crazy. So anyway, in that moment when you're about to watch, you really need to get out. Like if you're sitting by your computer, you need to get the fuck out. If you have your phone, well, it's a bit more difficult to go somewhere without your phone, but sometimes maybe you can. But if you can, then, you know, running is a good thing. If you run, you're not gonna watch porn while you run. But one of the simple things you can try to do, and I say try because I know you will fail many times, because I failed countless times, and it's okay, it's part of the process. You need to tell yourself that I am bigger, I am stronger than porn. And you really need to visualize. Visualization is just crucial. When it comes to building your identity and actually adopting your identity, actually becoming the person that you dream about being, you really need to visualize yourself already being that. And you need to say it. Try to say it out loud, like, I'm a fucking badass and I'm not some fucking porn addict. Use strong words and be strong about it. This is really important. But okay, let's say that you fail this step, because this step is really the most easy to fail. This is my experience is that resisting the temptation to take a look is ridiculously difficult, because it's so easy to make the excuse that, hey, I'm just gonna take a look, I'm just gonna take a peek, it's just gonna be 5 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm not even gonna touch myself. So it's really, 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 really easy to fail. So don't worry if you fail this thousands of times, because it's happened to me. But anyway, okay, so now you fail, and now you have porn on your screen. all right, so what's going to happen next? Chances are that seeing it, that's going to do a few things to you. One of the things it's going to do is you're going to think, oh, well, now there's porn. Now I'm watching porn. My streak is over. I might as well just do it. I might as well just give in. My streak, this is a big one. So many people trying to quit porn are using the streak. So I lost my streak. And then the next one is, I might as well. It's too late now. And then there might be the third one, which is like, I'm an addict and I can't help myself. And I'm a helpless, hopeless addict. And I'm going to go watch some subreddits about how amazing it is to be a porn addict. And I'm just going to have fun with it. And I'm going to drown myself in the pleasure. So that could happen. Happened to me countless times. But what can you do then? Okay, let's say you go watch the porn. Let's say you put on a video. What can you do here? This is where you still look. It's not too like you should never think that it's too late to do anything once you are watching the porn. It's actually something that is part of the process. This is part of you building your new self and new identity and your new attitude towards porn in general. This is part of it. So when this happens, when you relapse into watching, don't just think like, okay, I'm a failure, I failed, my streak is over, blah, blah, blah. Don't fucking keep spouting these negative things about yourself. Instead, this is a great chance for you to look at your feelings and emotions and how this is all taking place. This is a chance for you to look at yourself and analyze yourself. So if you can, write it down. But if you don't write it down, if you're not used to writing things down, think about it. Really think about it. And this is where it might be difficult if you're in the middle of the addiction and you've been watching porn for God knows how long, every week, let's say. Your brain is so fucking numb that you want to watch and see the extreme stuff. And this is where you might be thinking that you're a pervert and that you actually want and crave and desire depraved things that are happening, the sexual acts that are really extreme on whatever you're watching. This is where you might have built yourself this fake, false sexual identity and you think that you're a perv who wants these things. When in reality, you really fucking don't. It's just you don't know any other version of yourself. You do not know what any other reality, because you haven't experienced the other reality. But I can tell you that even after watching pornography for fucking 15 years, when you finally get out of it for as long as half a year, 5 months, 4 months, whatever, already I think in 2 months this happened to me, that I realized I don't want this shit. I don't fucking care. And I keep saying this because it's important you understand that this is very likely to happen to you as well. If you can get out of porn, that's when you will be thinking, oh yeah, it's exactly what that guy on YouTube was saying. Now I understand. I really don't care about those extreme things. I just want to make love with someone I love. And it only requires the very basic vanilla actions to take place to have mind-blowing sex. And so, okay, maybe it's tricky if you're that badly in the addiction, but what you have to start to build in your mind is that you need to start viewing it as gross and pathetic and sad and disgusting. You somehow have to get there, because that's something that's going to happen naturally as you are able to take breaks from porn. But if right now you're not able to take a break from porn, you still need to try to cultivate the identity which most likely is much closer to the real you than the perverted, porn addicted version of you. What I focus on these days is love. And when I was younger, I had this phase in my life where I thought that, love isn't really real, although I have always seen my parents love each other for real. So I always have known that love is real. It's actually really simple. It's nothing magical. It's not like it's not a fairy tale. It's sort of a down to earth logical thing in reality, that you sort of decide to be with someone. That's really, love isn't really that complicated, but it's real. But I did sort of have this when I was younger. I went through this phase of thinking that, you know, sex is really cool and having casual sex must be so cool. Doing all these different positions and sexual acts with women would be so freaking cool. But in reality, when you get older and if you really focus on loving someone and you read the book Superior Man, for example, which I recommend highly, you start to focus more on the energy between the opposite sexes. So you really start to look at your own masculine energy and your partner's feminine energy, or the other way around, or whatever. If you're gay or something, then it might be different for you. But from my perspective, you start to focus on those things and love. And you really become like, because you don't care anymore. Like, I don't care anymore. If someone thinks that it's cringe to be like really big on love, then I don't care. Like, I'm past that point. I don't really care anymore. So my point is, there's no love in porn. It's just lust. It's just hedonistic lust. And that's just not cool. Maybe, you know, it's normal for younger people to think that it's cool, but it's really not cool. It's really quiet. It just doesn't give you the profound happiness and peace. Like when I'm with my girlfriend, for example, and I just focus on loving her and just being present, like one day of that with my girlfriend is just worth more than all the hours I've spent watching porn in the 15 years. Because it's so different, right? Like, porn gives you pleasure, but it's physical and it's fleeting. It's in the moment, and it's the dopamine. But when you actually find love, that's other things. That's oxytocin and serotonin. And I know at the end of the day, it's all about the brain chemistry. But so if someone is like, your love isn't real love, it's just chemicals. Yeah, I fucking know. But the point is that you don't really care that it's chemistry in your brain. What you care about is the concept, because the concept is actually having concepts and sort of beliefs in life, even when you know the belief is just a belief. You know there's science behind it that can explain it, but you don't care because you care about how awesome the concept is. That's the point, right? So anyway, it's like, you need to understand that if you've been, especially the longer you've been doing it, the longer you've been watching porn, you might think, how can I ever survive without porn? How can I ever leave porn behind me? Because it's so fucking good. It feels so good. But the fact is, you can and you will, and you actually, when you finally do it, you feel like, finally is behind me. Finally, that part of my life, that ugly part, is behind me. And there's this sort of feeling that you're sort of glad that you experienced all those things. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I want to be honest about everything. There's a part of me that I had a few sessions in my life with porn where I just felt so pleasurable. And I didn't feel just utterly bad about it, because I didn't know about the ethical side either. I wasn't thinking about how it's unethical. I wasn't thinking about how it's going to destroy my brain. I wasn't thinking about how it's going to affect my relationships. I didn't know about any of those things. So, I had good experiences with it, but now it's time to move on. And now I understand that it's really, it's quite fucking ugly and disgusting. But anyway, so the pleasure is fleeting and it's not worth it, because real love and making love to a real woman, to a real person, is just infinitely better. This video is way too long and I'm just like over explaining things. I'm sorry about that. But now I get to the next little thing about, while you're watching porn, what you should be thinking and doing to get out of this situation. Remember how much time you waste, and understand that you could be doing something so much more productive and awesome and cool and fun with your time right now. but because of porn, because of that goddamn porn, you can't and you're not doing. So think back to all those, because for me, because I was aware during watching porn that I'm wasting my time, and I had these projects that I wanted to work on, but I didn't. The more, as time went on more and more, I was able to think how much I hate losing those days and those hours. So you need to focus on that. You need to really think about what you could be doing with your days, and you need to be fucking sad about it. Because when you, like, there's gonna be a point in the middle of your session, your porn consumption session, there's gonna be a point where you can escape. I can't really explain when it happens and why it happens, but I remember many of these situations where I would watch porn and I would be like, oh yeah, this is the best thing ever, I'm gonna jerk off the whole night. And then I would suddenly have the real me think to myself, oh, that's gross. And then I would just click the exit button on the browser and I would close the browser. Like, I would catch myself at the back of my head. I would have the good thoughts and the rational thoughts about how this is ruining my life. And because I kept on repeating those and I kept on being determined, and I had made the decision that I'm not going to be a fucking wanker for the rest of my life. I am actually going to escape this shit. And I am actually an awesome, amazing person who's going to fulfill his dreams in one way or another, like having my home gym, having my house. I am achieving these things. And I was, the whole time as I was in the middle of the addiction, I was slowly achieving things. So I would be able to snap out of it. So that's why you need to repeat these things, and you have to take these failures as parts of the process. It's like when you lift weights, you always fail eventually with the weights, but it only means that you're going to come back stronger. So it's just it's like reps. You relapsing to porn is repetitions. So actually, don't track your streak and think, oh, my streak is 0 now. Rather, think about it like, oh, hey, I failed this many times. I failed 4 times this 1 week. So I did 4 repetitions of failure in the exercise of analyzing myself and what happens to me when I'm watching porn. So like, try to turn it into something good, because there's nothing good about being negative about it. There's nothing good about just being sad about it and crying about it. Like, you don't get anything out of it if you end up watching porn and then you end up watching porn and then your reaction is, okay, everything is ruined. My week is ruined. My month is ruined. My streak is ruined, blah, blah, blah. That's only going to affect you negatively. So take it as a positive thing and take it as something that you can make videos about in the future, or you can write about it. So write about it or make a video about it in the future. This is learning. This is you learning, and that has value. So remember that. And so one more thing about while you're in the middle of it and you try to stop yourself and cut it short, or even before it and after it, whatever, what I recommend you to do is to think about how it's going to ruin your relationships in the future. Because let me tell you, I've been in 2 relationships. In the first relationship, I was consuming porn. In the second relationship, I wasn't. So, or I'm not currently. So if you cut out porn, your relationship will be just magnified. Because your sexuality is just going to be, it's going to be different. Like, you're going to be born again. You're going to be reborn. Your sexuality will be reborn. Like, you don't crave the deprived, degenerate things you have seen on porn. You stop craving those. And, sex becomes about making love. And sure, sometimes it's about, you just being physically horny, but still, it just changes how you see sex, and it changes how much better it's gonna feel. So much better. It's gonna be so much better. Like, I can tell you from those 2 experiences I've had that it really changes everything. Like, you really have to think about this, that if you dream about having a partner and you dream about having a relationship, then you have to understand that porn is gonna fuck it up. And your life will be infinitely better if you can quit porn. So just know that. But anyway, that was a long ramble. And the point of this video, in the summary of the point of this video, I suppose, is that yes, it feels good, it's genuine, and it's natural that it feels good, but the fleeting pleasure of it is never gonna be as good as what it is if you manage to quit. Like, the things you can actually do meaningful things, and you can actually have a way better relationship. Those things are so much more worth than the pleasure that you get, even though the pleasure is genuine, even though it really feels amazing. But anyway, if this is helpful, let me know. I mean, if you find value in this, let me know in the comments. And if you're new here, then subscribe, please, so that I may help you more in the future on even other topics than porn addiction. And thanks for watching, everyone. Really, truly, thank you. Because everyone I see, there's a view. Every time I see there's a view on my video, it makes me happy. That's just how we function as humans. You see numbers go up, you feel happier, just the way it goes. So thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye.